What's up, guys? What's going on today? This is Marvinkingo, and today is the official review of Anthem. Alright, hopefully you guys like it. Let's get into it. From the same studios behind Mass Effect and Dragon Age, Anthem is a sci-fi fantasy third-person action RPG featuring fully customizable exosuits known as Javelin, with a wide variety of special abilities. Okay, let's talk about this story. So Anthem doesn't really have a that good of a story. There are 5 different factions in the game, 3 are good, 3 are bad. Sometimes it felt kind of weird because I wasn't exactly sure who I was working for. I felt like they just threw you a lot of quests within the story, and then I wasn't catching up who I was working for. The first faction within Anthem is the Arcanists. They are a faction of scientists who dedicated themselves to researching the mystery world of Anthem. The second faction we have are the Freelancers. The Freelancers are a renowned faction of brave warriors responsible for safeguarding humanity and exploring outside of Port Tarsus. The Sentinels are a law enforcement faction. They believe in justice and order. They focus on protecting the people from the chaos of the outside world. And now for the enemy factions we have. The Dominion are a military human faction who are the primary enemies of the Freelancers. And for the last faction we have the Scars. The Scars are a non-human enemy force alien to the world of Anthem. They seek out technology, putting them in direct conflict with the Freelancers. Like I said, at the beginning I was kind of confused who I was working for. Good thing there is a game index, or called Cortex, and it gives you information pretty much of everything. Weapons, NPCs, missions, and factions, which is always a good thing. Another side comment I have at the beginning was the fact that there was a character creation, but yet playing I never saw my face. Another thing I didn't like was the fact that I was always called a freelancer, so I was never given a name. So I felt like this never gave me the opportunity to connect with my character because I felt like I was another soldier. As you continue throughout the missions, you do meet a lot of NPCs. Some were actually very entertaining and their voice acting was spot on. I was actually surprised what they did. Sometimes I was even excited just to talk to them. But also, there was a sad thing was the fact that a lot of NPCs too were actually boring and dull, which I felt like I was forced to talk to them and I couldn't wait just to, end the conversation. While in the city, I felt like it was kind of boring and dull. Sadly, after every mission, it does force you to go back to Fort Tarsus to pick up your next quest. But when I was in the city, I couldn't wait just to get my quest and get out of there. There was no environment. I feel like I was there by myself, so I did not like the experience of being in the city. One of the things I didn't like in the city was the fact that my character was extremely slow. I couldn't wait just to get my quest and go back to my Javelin. But that trip right there, I felt like it took forever. Another side area within the city is called Launch Bay. Launch Bay is a shared instance zone where you can access all the facilities in Fort Tarsus in a smaller area, while socializing with other players. So the facilities provided in Launch Bay are Forge, where you can customize your Javelin with paint and all that stuff. The Vault, it's an access to your personal storage, and they have a store too. But that too, I felt like it was really dull. There was no chat box for you to talk to other players. You were only given the option to add them to your friends list, block them. That's it. So I feel like this area is kind of pointless. Alright, let's talk about the store. So I like the fact that the store was only cosmetics only. It was actually pretty cool to see that every day it switches to different items in the store. Alright, one of the things I did not see a point to the store was the fact that there were 3 vendors and yet they all had the same items, which I don't get it. And 2 of them are actually in front of each other, so I thought it was kind of pointless to have 3 vendors sell you the same items, and two of them were right next to each other. Now let's talk about the classes. So the tutorial, we play as a ranger, and after finishing the tutorial or reaching level 2, it does give us the option to unlock one javelin. So the classes available for you to choose at level 2 are the Storm. This is the wizard type of Anthem. We have the Interceptor, which this is like the rogue type of Anthem. The next one is a Colossus. This one is my favorite. This one, it feels like a tank, and it's actually pretty cool because it actually has a shield. And the last one, we have the Ranger. This is the all balanced javelin. As you continue leveling up with that javelin you chose, you do unlock other javelins at level 8, 16, and 24. After you choose your first javelin, it does bring you to the forge. The forge, what it is this area for you to customize your javelin. Within your javelin, it gives you about 8 to 9 different components / gear for you to choose your fighting style. And when I say fighting style, it's the fact that the game gives us a chance to do different kind of damage. For example, acid, electricity, fire, and cold. There is a crafting section within the game, which I thought it was kind of cool. You do pick up components after or whenever you're doing missions, which I thought was pretty cool, because if you feel like you like a certain type of gun or a mortar, you can create it at the crafting system. Alright, now let's talk about the gameplay. So the gameplay, I feel like I enjoy every second of it. It was actually pretty cool to how we fought every single enemy. Was the fact that my javelin felt so free that I can fly wherever I want to, take cover where I want to, use my mortar / flamethrower and all that stuff. I had a ton of fun playing. Every explosion, every time you use your ultimate, it gives you that satisfaction that you killed a ton of enemies in such a cool way. Okay, well, playing with your javelin, doing contracts and missions, I felt like the missions were kind of boring. 3 of them was collecting a certain type of item and bringing it to a certain place, and the other one was standing on a platform until you reach a bar. Well, picking up these pieces or standing on a platform, they are waves of monsters, dominions / scars that come to attack you. So it feels like waves of monsters, and this happens in every mission over and over and over. So I kind of felt like it was a bit repetitive and boring to some point. Okay, so you do end up finishing the main story at level 24-25. This will take you about 20 hours. After you're done with the main story, then you start grinding contracts / do dungeons. But to be honest with you, it is the same type of playstyle. Picking up echoes or picking up relics, whatever it is, it feels no different. What I do like about in the game was the boss fights. Even though they're bullet sponges, it was very entertaining and actually fun to play. Some of the bosses did have a different type of strategy that you would have to do. There were 3 bosses. One was extremely easy. You would kill it within maybe a minute. And the other 2, the hard one, will take you about half an hour. So I felt like maybe they should have made that a little bit more balanced, where it took you 5 to 10 minutes to kill each one. Okay, after finishing the main campaign, doing contracts, doing dungeons, the max level is 30. This will take you, I would say, about between 27 and 35 hours, depending what your playstyle is. After reaching level 30, it does give you this option to increase the difficulty for your contracts / dungeons. After doing dungeons in hard difficulty, even though it was a bit of a challenge, I still felt like it was the same game. There is no teamwork or nothing really new, to be honest. I did finish Anthem playing roughly about 40 to 45 hours. The game is actually, the game style is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, the gameplay feels very fluid. It gives you these options to, you know, kill enemies in cool ways, flamethrowers, acid, electricity. But I would feel the last 15 hours, it felt like I was dragging myself to play it. Like I said, the different type of, missions were all the same, and I felt like I was doing the same mission over and over. Okay, so summary of the game. So I felt like the NPCs were, some were good, some were bad. The city was very boring with the environment. The RPG element when it comes to crafting and choosing different kind of items, I thought that was actually pretty cool. I got some of the satisfaction when I was grinding and getting high tier level items. I thought that was pretty cool. The launch bay, I felt like it was a bit pointless because even though it's there for you to interact with other players, we were not given the option to chat with them. Just add them to our friends list or block them. The store, maybe just one vendor would have been nice instead of having 3 with the same items. I thought that was kind of dumb. Missions were repetitive and boring at the same time. Dungeons were also the same. It was repetitive, collect here, collect over there. Bosses, I thought they were pretty cool, even though there were bullet sponges. But, animation, graphics, and playstyle of the bosses were pretty cool. Main story was also kind of boring, I would say. There was no real story. I didn't feel any, even though I was the hero of the town, I didn't feel any different because I never had a name. I never saw my face. I can never connect with my player because I was just another soldier. Would I recommend this game to someone? At the current state, the game is not a full $60 price. I think EA and BioWare have to continue adding more content to this game for it to be worth it. But right now, I would not recommend it. Okay guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you like the content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell notification. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully you guys had a good time, and I will see you later. Marvinkingo is out. We'll see you later. Bye guys!